I am back with another video. Listen, I don't know who this is for, but stop trying to convince your family, friends, people around you that you heard God right. Just stop, okay? And what do I mean by that? You know, when we give God our yes, He starts to give us instructions. When you say, God, I'm ready, use me, Lord, all these things, we don't be knowing what we're saying yes to. So He will give you an instruction, something to do, whatever the case may be. And most of the time, it does not make sense. It's a test, okay? But it's also getting you where He needs you to be. So a lot of times, you know, He will give us an instruction. And of course, we share it with our family, friends. And a lot of times, our family and friends, they be like, I don't think God told you that. Maybe you heard wrong. Sweetie, you heard God right, okay? You heard God right. And God sent me here today to tell you to stop trying to convince them folks that you heard God right. Because you know what? I went through that or whatever. And I used to be like, God, you know, show them that that you're telling me this and all this extra stuff. And God was like, you gonna trust me or them? I was like, I trust you. You know, it's not easy. It does not make sense. Some of the instructions that He gave me, I was just like, what? Am I hearing you right? But yes. Because if you're going to be a disciple of Jesus Christ, baby, listen, it ain't always easy. And especially if you are a chosen vessel of God, if you have a call on your life is a little bit different than a regular child of God. And most of the time, your life is hard. It's going to be harder than a regular child of God. And where God needs you to be, He got to prep you, prime you. He has to literally let you go through the fire. You have to be pruned and prepped and tried and tested. So sometimes God might say, hey, pack up your place and move across the country or move across to another state. And your family gonna be like, I don't know if you heard God right. God did not give them the instruction. It was not a conference call when God told you to do it, whatever it is He told you to do. It ain't for them to understand. Heck, you barely don't even understand. You know, it don't even be making sense to you. So of course it's not going to understand to them. God is not in the business of, trying to have people understand and what is God doing? Like, no. Because anyways, when He give you instructions, He's not going to say, okay, I need you to pack up, move here. And when you get here, this is what's going to happen. No, He don't do all that. He want to know if you're going to do what He said without no explanation, without no, He'll give you confirmations and stuff like that. God understands, but are you going to do it? So the ball is in your court. And the question is, are you going to trust God or are you going to listen to what other people are saying because they don't understand? Okay, so because in God's timing, in due timing, He's going to vindicate you. He's going to show all of them that she was not crazy. He was not crazy. They heard me. Okay, so let them talk. Let them say what they want to say. Let them call you crazy. Because you know what? Certain things that God have you doing, sometimes it will look crazy. Okay, sometimes it will. Trust God. Of course, you want to make sure you're hearing Him right. Of course. But this is strictly for people who know what God has said, and you're trying to explain to other people to cause them to, basically come into agreement with what God is telling you to do. Screw them people. I'm sorry, Lord help me, but I'm being real and raw. Forget them folks. Do what God told you to do before you delay your own. Okay? Because you don't just step into millions. You don't just step into wealth. You got to go through the fire. God has to test you. How can He, bless you with the business or bless you with whatever it is that God is going to have you doing if He cannot trust you? If you can't even be obedient, if He tell you to pack up or whatever and go here, how can He trust you with millions? So I'm not going to make this long. Stop trying to convince other people that you heard God right. Okay? It ain't got to make sense to them. They'll see eventually. They'll see. And I'm working on another video next. I'm going to talk about something that I did when I did not listen to God, and because it didn't make sense, and He let me fall flat on my face or whatever, and He wants me to speak on that. So that's going to be my next upload. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Just whoever this is for, you heard God. Stop trying to explain to other people. It's not going to make sense to them. Okay, God's got you. All right, y'all. Till next time.